Welcome to the program. On Insight today, we shall be looking at wealth creation. In specific terms, gemstones and wealth creation. We're in a world of ideas, and we hear some products, rather than send them out at its primary state. If you add value, you gain more. So how well can we harness gemstones in Nigeria? One big conference, very free for Nigerian youths mostly, is coming up. You don't need to stay steps away. Listen to it, and maybe you could key into it. That will be on discussion segment. There have been a lot of reactions, counter-reactions regarding the confirmation of ministerial nominees sent in by Mr. President to the Nigerian Senate. As they get confirmed eventually, how far, what next? That will be on interview segment. And on media review, Lizzie?
Yes, of course, on that segment, we'll be taking a look also at the ministerial screening. Now, some Nigerians have been complaining about the process adopted by the Senate in handling the screening itself. Now, is a take and bow an approval? Why this process? And how would the media explain this process to Nigerians? These are some of the areas we'll be taking a look at, and my guest will be providing answers, and of course, he will enlighten us.
So, wealth creation, politics, public governance is focused on Insight today. Up next on the program is the discussion segment. Stay with us. On this segment of Insight today, we shall be discussing precious stones, in specific terms, gemstones. Well, I've heard so much about gemstones. How much and how well do you know about gemstones? And in a world where they say ideas rule the world, and just a few days ago, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Adesoji, challenged African leaders to depart from youth empowerment to youth investment. And we heard that there's an exhibition coming up. It is called the African Gems and Jewelry Exhibition and Seminar. We got to know that a lot of gemstones are available in Nigeria. Even where we are sitting in the studio, we hear a good layer of it is here. So how well is this seminar going to touch the lives of these Nigerians who are ready to be off the public sector and carve a niche for themselves? I have a gentleman and a lady to sustain conversation on this. Gemstones and wealth creation are head of the African Gems and Jewelry Exhibition and Seminar coming up, where I don't know, you get to know on the course of the program. Lottanna Amina Okpukpara. She's a gemologist, promoter, director of the African Gems and Jewelry Exhibition and Seminar. She's also director of Mina Stones. Good to have you on Insight.
Thank you for having me.
Professor Adesoji is the president, Gemological Institute of Nigeria, national coordinator of the Gemstones Miners and Marketers Association, GMAN, chairman of the Education Committee of NASIMA, vice president of Nigeria Chamber of Mines, right? And also vice president of the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Good to have you on Insight.
Thank you, Omini.
Now, this much talked about seminar, before we go into it, like I sold out myself, I may have heard so much about gemstones. You are the experts. Let me start with you. What's the big deal about gemstones?
The big deal? Well, the big deal about gemstones is everything. First of all, gemstones are used for so many things, especially jewelry making, and traditionally most jewelers use gemstones. There are quite a number of gemstones, some very expensive, some not so expensive. And the big deal about it, I must say, is the fact that Nigeria is blessed with quite a number of these gemstones, worth billions and billions of dollars. And the big deal about it also is that if we harness our resources properly, it will create employment, and it will also create wealth. That's a big deal about gemstones.
So this seminar we're about to talk about, where will it be holding?
Okay, the seminar will be holding at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Abuja, on the way to the airport, next to the ShopRite at Lugbe. That's where the seminar will be held.
So, of what relevance is it to the PPP initiative of the government of the day, talking about federal, state, and local government, because we're talking about a government that has opened space for the private sector to participate? Of what usefulness will this seminar be? I'll come to our sister.
Okay, it's very important for us to know the value chain and where Nigeria is placed in the value chain, especially to do with international markets of gemstones. Mostly Nigerians don't add value to gemstones, they take it outside Nigeria. And currently we believe that the world value of jewelry trade is about $325 billion US dollars, of which we believe that what Nigeria actually produces and exports outside is almost $10 billion. From figures we have taken from Thailand, what goes to Thailand through Sri Lanka, what goes to Germany, what goes to Europe, the whole of Europe, what goes to America. So it's very important for us to understand how the international market is played. Generally speaking...
Is Nigeria factored in here?
Nigeria is factored into the extent of just producing at the artisanal level and taking the raw material out. And what we discovered is that usually to market yourself, to market your products, the sector deals with exhibitions. That's where they all do. That's where all the players come to.
Let me hold you there. I was excited, and I told you behind the scene that if I didn't see a young Nigerian with you, maybe I would have protested the composition of this set.
Yes.
Well, Lottanna,
Sir.
Of what use, let me ask it differently, will this seminar be to the Nigerian economy and indeed people of your generation?
As Prof has mentioned, the seminar is a platform that is bringing everybody together and everybody along the value chain. There's so much to be done. The Nigerian gem and jewelry industry is still at the very preliminary stage, and there's things to be done right from the mining to the processing to the gem dealing to even the education. So there's just so many things to be done. There's a lot that can be harnessed from the gemstones that are sourced from Nigeria. We have some of the some of the best sapphires in the world, some of the best tourmalines in the world. But as Prof has said, these things are taking out, and they're taking out in their raw form. Adding value to this is going to increase the prices of these gemstones even up to 100 times the original price. And also putting a structure or a platform where people can actually monitor and see and trace what is being taken and what is leaving the country. That's not really done now, and we're not really getting benefit obviously for what we have. That's for the economy. I think if we play a bigger role in structuring the industry and in adding more to the process.
You're in the business, right?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in the business?
Unofficially 8-9 years. Officially maybe 7-6 years.
So how have you been carrying on? Are you working strictly in the private sector, or you have maybe a public sector institution that you collaborate with?
So I work both. So I work with Mina Stones in the private sector, but I also collaborate with the government to do other things. So there's a lapidary. We try to process stones, to train people to process stones. Like I said, the industry is still very, very young. For the young people, what we're trying to do is, with ACGES and these other projects that we're trying to come up with, is to bring them to see what is possible, what is achievable, and maybe even see people like myself, and then there are other young people that are in this industry as well.
From what you're telling me, right now, I look at you from your earring, it's not laced with gemstone.
It is.
It is.
It is already.
Yes, it is.
Right now, my ring, my glasses, my cufflinks, even Prof's rings, all that.
Now my cufflinks.
Where can we get
Nigeria.
to this? Talking about you trying to get the youth involved.
So that's
because
what
I could see.
Yes.
We call it gemstones and wealth creation.
Yeah.
Yes.
How well will this be?
So that's what I'm trying to explain to you, is the training of these youths, and not just training them, putting some kind of sustainable structure afterwards where they're able to add value to the stones, whether they cut them, polish them, or set them in jewelry. like you said, I'm wearing jewelry that is made from Mina stones, and these are white topaz gemstones from Benue State here in Nigeria. So that we have lots of these things here. It's just to invest in the processing aspect of it and empower this the youth.
A good gamut of Nigerian youths live wherever they are to attend the seminar in Abuja. And is the seminar free? Is it affordable?
Well, the seminar is free. It's actually an exhibition, and we also have a master class to be able to take them through the value chain processes. And why should they do that? Because we are trying to encourage the use of Nigerian gemstones and materials. For instance, if you see what Amina is putting on, the gold and the stone there, they're all from Nigeria, 100%. And this is of international standards. So if every Nigerian is aware of the possibilities, and if every Nigerian is able to at least use a Nigerian jewelry, you can imagine the amount of the value that will be provided, and the significance of it to the economy is huge. We believe that in not just training, but also assisting the youths in setting up and also mentoring them, it's possible for us to actually instigate this sector to really go in a positive direction, in a way that it will have a positive impact on the Nigerian economy.
The president of the African Development Bank just spoke a few days ago and said, if Africa gets it right, Africa is already there. That by the projection, the world is already at 3.2% in terms of GDP, a collective, I don't know how to put it now. And about 21 African countries have already netted 3.5. So if the economies of Africa is properly rejigged, Africa is already set. And he now said, to get this right, African governments, Nigeria inclusive, I know a lot of programs like what you're trying to do, should depart from youth empowerment to youth investment. How relevant is this seminar to what Dr. Adesina said? I
think it's in sync to what Dr. Adesina is saying, because we are taking things from a different perspective from the traditional way of doing things, just training the youths and allowing them to go. We have a program which is called Best 1000 at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce, which does not only train but also assists in setting up startups and also mentoring. So it's very important for us not just to train. Do you have
testimonies?
Yes, we do. I'm sure not just for the jewelry sector, but also in other sectors. We have companies that within 2 years, they're turning over about $1 billion. Farm Crowdy, for instance, was an initiative from the Chamber of Commerce, private sector.
So give us a brief of how you have managed to survive and looking very, very trendy. And
thank you. I'm still an entrepreneur, so I can't give you a fixed amount and then tell you this is what I make monthly, or so we have seasons, and I'm sure many entrepreneurs can attest to that. So, but I will tell you that the gemstone and jewelry industry is definitely somewhere that you can get value from, and if you do it right, like Prof said. So the training, you learn what it's about, and then you go into it. So when you go into it, you know, do I want to be a facetter? Do I want to trade gemstones? Do I want to be a jeweler? What do I want to do? But having that knowledge and knowing about it is actually what's going to get the value for you, because you want to do it right. I can say that I'm doing it right. I'm still on my journey. And one thing I did was I learned before I went in, because it's important for you to know what you're getting into. It's as exciting as it sounds, it's also something, and that's why ACGES is here, the Gems and Jewelry Exhibition and Seminar. And as Prof mentioned, there'll be master classes from the Gemological Institute of Nigeria, and there'll also be jewelry master classes where you can actually know this is what this is, because the gemstone industry is very sensitive, and you have to know what you're getting into so you don't get burnt. So what I would say is, as you can see, I'm a gemologist, so it means I know my stones. It's very important for you to have that information, because it will help you in making money for yourself or adding value to whatever.
Would you
you're
say we have
getting.
a good percentage of youths like you in it?
No, we don't.
But if you don't have a percentage,
Yes.
the likes of Prof, they're exiting and you're coming in. We don't have people behind you. The sustainability issue now becomes a challenge.
So that's one of the reasons why we are here, is because we want to let people know that, because many people, I find that I had to tell, starting out and even up to even this year, some of my peers that had to say, we actually have gemstones in Nigeria. They don't believe it. So the information is not even there. The awareness is not really there. So that's why we're doing this, is for you to first of all know that we have these things here, and then come and see. So you can come to the African Gems Nigeria exhibition and seminar and actually see, oh, this is what's happening, or this is what's going on in the sector, or this is what we have in Nigeria, or this is what I can do. Make your decision from there. Because there's so many youths that are not aware.
Several social protection programs of government,
Yeah.
and one of them, which is Empower, and the few other ones I can't remember now.
Yes.
Government supports them, but to learn skills like this.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. In the gems and jewelry sector, we don't really have, and like I said, it's still a very virgin sector. So even
So if you approach now, you have space for them?
yes, we can train them, and they can be trained at the institute as well. There's definitely space to train these people. So that's what we're trying to do, even with Act Justice, to put the word out there that this is available and these are the people that can help you.
And you're putting the word out already.
Exactly.
Okay, let me go to Prof. Prof, you said the seminar is free.
Yes, it is.
Can you break it down? When is the seminar coming? Because I can imagine how many youths and how many interested parties are watching to key into the seminar.
Okay,
When
very
is
good.
it coming up? In case I want to participate, how will I participate?
The seminar will be starting, the exhibition actually, and it encompasses exhibitions and workshops. We'll be starting on the 7th with a stakeholders meeting at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce. And on the 8th, we shall have we shall flag off the exhibition. And at that place, we shall have panelists to discuss various topics coming in from GIA, Gemological Institute of America, for the first time. They will be part of this. We also have specialists coming in from Gemological Institute of Thailand. They'll be part of this. These are top-rated international institutes. And we have people from the Ministry of Mines, and we have people from the organized private sector, from the Chamber of Commerce, and also from the Gemological Institute of Nigeria, from the Gemstones Miners and Miners and Marketers Association of Nigeria. And we also have some dwellers coming in from Lagos, Kaduna, Kano. In fact, this is an opportunity, Benin. Yeah. This is an opportunity for people to see what they would normally travel to Bangkok to see, what they would travel to Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Tucson. We're bringing it home. And this is the first of its kind in Africa, dealing especially with colored stones and jewelry, and where we can also learn and impart knowledge to our teaming youths. We are also will also be working closely with the Bayes University Entrepreneurship Club. We are bringing most of the students also to come and see.
Is corporate Nigeria involved in this?
Corporate Nigeria, to the extent of the fact that Abuja Chamber of Commerce is a key partner to this.
When I mentioned that, you should know where I'm going to, or where I'm coming from, because if corporate Nigeria decides to support Lottanna Aminu Okukora,
yes,
I believe in a couple of days she will tell us she exports gemstones from Nigeria out to the world, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are the banks involved?
Currently, no. But we are actually trying to talk to them. We were trying to talk to First Bank to be part of this. Apparently, they have promised to talk to us further after this exhibition for the next edition. I think last year we also invited Zenith Bank to be part of this. Yes.
Lottanna, let me ask you, if I come interested in this program and I'm within the age bracket for Lottanna and I said, I'm interested, but I don't know how to take off, how will you assist?
I think the first critical aspect that with the program that we have on ground is working with the Business Entrepreneurship Skills and Technology Center of the Abuja Chamber of Commerce. We are partnering with them, with the Gemological Institute of Nigeria, to identify young people who can key into their program called Best 1000, where they train youths in different skills, including this. Actually, there's a program meant to be training the trainers, which will be starting off very soon. which has a combination of support from the ministry and the World Bank. And this will train trainers at this stage now, especially for jewelry making. We're trying to train a few trainers who will be able to now exponentially train other people who will be going into the industry.
The time that I hear jewelry, is it all about feminine?
Well,
Just asking.
I'm wearing Nigerian-made cufflinks from hematite. This is hematite from Taraba State, and that's the only location we've been able to get this in Africa. And it's a huge deposit.
We export it from Nigeria, or
yes.
For local content?
Yes, right now it's been exported, but now we are also looking for people like Lottanna to make it into jewelries, convert it into different
back to
stuff.
You. Yeah. Now I take you to a big hall where you have about 5,000 youths waiting to be appointed as PA to a minister, PA to a chairman, SA to this, where they go and bring cards and you say, look, drop this card and join me. How will you convince them? Because this is one of the challenges we have today. Our youths want quick money, and they believe coming to do this business with you, it will take a while. They wonder, they'll become SADs, PADs, and they'll be carrying briefcase.
Yeah.
How will you convince them to join you?
I think, first of all, what I will say is, at the end of the day, you can say what you have to say, but it still rests on them to either believe or change their minds. But what I will say about this industry is, and as I've said it earlier, there's so many opportunities that people aren't even aware of. I'll try as best as I can to expose and open them to what is available. There's some figures and facts. Prof has mentioned some figures here. We have a lot in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the known countries in the world for top quality sapphires, I've said, tourmalines. There's the copper-bearing tourmaline that is found in only 3 countries in the world. Nigeria is one of those countries. We are highly blessed in this country with the precious metals, the precious stones. So these things are here, and there's an opportunity for you to learn about them, and there's also an opportunity for you to learn how to add value to them.
Prof, before I let you go, for the last time, last word about this seminar so that people who came to it, last word.
Okay, I think it's very important for us to support this exhibition. The sector delves and is supported by exhibitions all over the world. So we have all the players going to Tucson, going to Bangkok, going to Shanghai. But now we are having a homegrown exhibition for not just for Nigeria but for Africa, and we are very proud that it's started here in, actually this is the 3rd edition that we're having it here in Abuja. So this is a very important aspect of improving our economy, and we are inviting everyone to come over and join us at the Aegis.
Well, I feel I should take an official vacation to join you, to come and learn.
Thank you.
Well, Lottanna Amina Opokwara, Promoter Director, African Gems Jewelry Exhibition and Summit. It was nice having your insight.
Thank you, sir.
And Professor Adesoji Adeshuba. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Omene. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Make time to create wealth, and we're in a world of ideas. It is said, no more youth empowerment, but youth investment. This is one of the ways. Up next on Insight is the interview segment. Don't go away.